That's Hollywood.
But what is that?
It's total Hollywood.
The problem is
So exotic.
the problem is tutti frutti head because it's that is exaggeration of traditional costume and hat that women in Bahia, in northeast Brazil, were wearing, but they were not wearing, the way that it looks here. And in a way, Carmen Miranda also paid price because she was not able in early 40s, when it was necessary to have, let's say, Brazil on American side, and when it was on the political line to have South American characters in these musicals that were most popular films of that era. She was best paid woman in United States for a little while. But then, after the end of the war, the problem was that she was not able to get out of that costume and of those roles of light-headed women, because South Americans were pictured as not very smart, like light-headed, and that was her also destiny. And in a way, she ended up just repeating herself in similar roles and similar costumes. And I will show you like other.
Which movie was that, if I may ask? The lady.
I will just check. I think you know that it's called The Gangs All Here. And I have it here written. Those are all from 40s. So I think when she came to United States, she came in 1939, and then she was first year she was in Broadway, and she didn't speak any English. So in this film she already sings in English. So it's a little bit later on. It's 1942, 1943, I think, something like that. And here you have Disney's film, and he had this is also very famous song that had many different versions on different languages. Is Ari Barroso, the composer, and it's called Aquarela do Brasil.
Oh, Ari Barroso?
Ari Barroso, yeah. But it has version in English, many. Yeah, over here.
Brasil brasileiro, meu mulato insoneiro, o cantante nos meus versos.
So this is also the song that went international.
a minha rede nas noites claras de luar pra ser.
Samo brzo malo da dođemo do ovog.
Foi onde eu
I ovo je kao Z karaoke. To ti je bio, that was Brazilian character in this Disney's films actually, because there were several of them.
Cavalheiro, aqui está o meu cartão.
Ova melodija. And in a way, yeah, in the music, yeah, you have these representations of interactions, different interactions that were happening there.
Now you have the speak of the samba.
And this is the samba, yeah. You will see, talking about production. They are playing out of nothing. It's matches, table, whatever. They can make music on the street, wherever, on the beach. It just goes, and production is not important at all. I would say it's more about kako se kaže, neposrednost, immediacy of the.
Dobro, ima svečno.
Esse Brasil trigueiro é o meu Brasil brasileiro, terra de samba e pandeiro.
And that is a hotel that on Copacabana, which was a place where music was played, so it is appearing in different films as well. But I will show you this, just to say, talking about music from Rio, samba, these other musics that came to Europe, to United States from Brazil. It's I would say that the main Rio was the most cosmopolitan place and the place that had most like intensive interactions with the world, and then and it was also the center of radio, of media, so in a way it was sending music through Brazil. So those are the rhythms that the world is most, Brazilian music that the world is most familiar with, but they are not the only ones. I will just play this. It's older. This is Luis Gonzaga. This is typical music for northeast of Brazil. It's like music that also became very big, let's say, in 40s, 50s. This is probably from 70s, maybe even 80s, I don't know exactly. But it is very local. It remained like very just Brazilian, interior Brazilian. And it has that accordion and that costume, you know, that is but ovo se smatra, this is considered as to seljačko. Pa iz Rija i Sao Paula se na taj severoistok Brazila gleda sa nekom vrstom nipodaštavanja i onda je takav odnos i prema
To je zemljoradnik.
I da, to su ti siromašniji krajevi, to su pečalbari brazilski. Those are the guys, those were kind of poor areas in the northeast that were sending a lot of migrant workers to the south, to the cities of the south. So even in that social class sense, this is the music of lower class, to put it that way. While bossa nova was music of the middle class, upper middle class, in a way meeting black hoods and creating some kind of sophisticated version of those domestic rhythms, primarily samba. And this is we were listening yesterday this on the record. It's interesting just to see the video.
Yeah.
I would say. And that is another breakthrough, international breakthrough that came particularly with this song, because they had this Jobim that composed this together with Vinicius de Moraes, who wrote lyrics. They had a lot of hits, but it is thanks to this song that they made money as well. And after this, it was also connected with political developments in Brazil with that coup in 1964. That time, romantic time, you know, that bossa nova was in some way emanating, was over, and a lot of musicians from that scene went abroad. Many of them to United States, but not only to United States. Anyway, but New York and US were important for further commercialization, you can say, of bossa nova and another way of Brazilian music that became known to the West. And you have also this.
By the way, did you spend time in Rio de Janeiro also?
Yeah, I mean, not so much as I did I've been maybe like, few weeks in Rio, not more than that.
What did you think about Rio? I'm just curious.
Well, for me, Rio is interesting because it's probably the only place, the only big city, really big city in Brazil, where social interaction is possible between, yeah. So there are those beaches, there are areas where you can walk, because in São Paulo and in many other places, the public spaces are so narrow. There are not so many. In São Paulo, that is like 20 million, more than 20 million people. I mean, there are just few streets and one avenue where you can walk freely any time of the day. Apart from that, I mean, it's just like little oases where you can go out. But in those oases, you don't really meet so many people, and it's not variety of people that you can meet. It's just different ghettos that you can really enter. In Rio, there is more of
and did samba start in where did samba start?
Well, samba is it's a derivation of the rhythm that is common in those Afro-Brazilian, to say, rituals, religious rituals, you can say. And then it was after the end of slavery, end of 19th century, when slaves from plantations disperse, they go through primarily to big cities, and it is so they are bringing their music with them.